Welcome to the Department of Emergency Services Security Officer Appreciation Week. This week is dedicated to thanking all the hardworking security officers who keep our facilities safe. These officers put their lives on the line to protect us every day, and we couldn't be more grateful. I'm Jeff England, and you're listening to the Fort Polk podcast with this week's guest, Chief James Coker. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depends on when you're listening to this. I have in the studio here with me Chief James Coker from the Department of Emergency Services, or DES, right here on Fort Polk. They're the ones that take care of all the gates and a bunch of other stuff that you see. They're the ones that are walking around in the black uniforms, the black police uniforms.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And they are considered police around here. At least, you know, if the lights shine behind me, I'm pulling over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of folks kind of feel that way. So, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I am doing well. And yourself?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Always wonderful. I love doing the podcast. I hope it becomes very popular and, you know, a lot of people watch or listen. We might even get videos on there someday.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do listen to podcasts. I definitely started listening probably about a year ago. Definitely a great variety of subjects for sure.
Absolutely. And around here, there's so much going on. I'm getting really booked up on guests to be in here. And, you know, it's such a quick turnaround because Security Officer Appreciation Week is Monday through Friday.
That is correct. That is next week.
That's according to everyone else, it'll be this week.
Okay.
So.
Well, we'll take 2 weeks. There's nothing wrong with that. We'll take as many weeks as they want to give us.
And so it'll be to do 19th.
That's correct.
September 19th through the 22nd. 23rd. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There. I don't have my phone with me right now, so
you're a little lost?
Yeah, they call it a smartphone because it's the only smart thing about me.
Right.
So, what exactly is the overview? Would you say what exactly is Security Officer Appreciation Week?
So basically, it's a great time for the garrison leadership to acknowledge and recognize the folks that work in security. And there's a few events going on, like this would be one of them. There also is they're gonna take some time, come down and talk to the folks that are working the ACPs and pulling security, and spend a little bit of time with them and you know, thank them for what they do.
I go through the gates every day, and they are always nice to me. And I mean, everyone I see out there is just wonderful. And I've even been stopped for the random search of my vehicle.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, it seems like they watch for my truck or something.
Yeah, well, I'll assure you that's not happening. The number is definitely random. So.
No, it's funny because it's like I'll go through and I'll get stopped, and then all of a sudden I'll get stopped like 2-3 more times to get searched. And, you know, by the second, third one, they pulled me. It's like, all right, we need to, and everything's open and ready to go. It's like, oh, you've been through this before,
right?
Huh?
Yeah, we kind of call that training the public, but, and it's definitely a measure that's very important. It's what helps keep everybody here safe. You know.
Oh, absolutely. I've actually seen some results of some.
There are results, yes.
Some security checks as I'm going out. It's like, oop, glad I'm not that guy.
Right, and we like to classify them as inspections because that's what we're doing. We're inspecting the vehicle for, you know, certain devices and explosives and stuff, you know, that fall into that nature. So
yeah, I did that. I brought my stepson through the gate once, and somebody was being searched, and they had the mirror out there, and they go, "Are they searching for bombs?" Like, yep, they sure are.
Anything that's associated with it. As a matter of fact, it's open for everybody, including myself. There's been many times I've been that lucky number, and so they go through my vehicle also.
Oh, how funny!
Yeah.
Hey, get the Chiefs.
Well, the thing about it is, you know, you definitely want to do it right,
and you don't want to have something in there that's going to be embarrassing.
That's correct.
Let alone illegal.
Absolutely, 100%. Yep.
So exactly how? I've seen soldiers out there working the gates, and I've seen civilians out there working the gates. So exactly what is the division structure And how do we fit into it?
Yeah, absolutely. So within the Directorate of Emergency Services, we have 3 divisions. One is the police department, one is the fire department, and of course the physical security department. The access control falls underneath that physical security department, if you will, or division. We are also part of the 519th MP Battalion. Matter of fact, Colonel Murphy is the directorate of the emergency services. Mr. Funderburk, Gregory Funderburk, is the deputy director. So that being said, basically, we work side by side with our brothers and sisters in blue, even though they're wearing green. And so we both work the ACPs. We both have the same responsibilities when it comes to the access control aspect of what's being done out there.
Is there other things that security officers, the men in black, do other than the physical security at the gates?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll probably, if you haven't been out to one of the Freedom Fests or something like that, we pull the security as far as the access into the actual event site. We do that. We're responsible and can respond to active shooters. Several things, that fall within that security realm. Basically, we can guard incident command centers. During an incident, we can be tasked to look for somebody. We've done that. So there's quite a few things we can do. We do.
So like AWOL people, you look for them?
Well, we don't look for them. They tend to look for us. To be honest with you. They'll show up at the gate and then say either I'm AWOL or we'll do our scanning and they'll come up as such.
Oh yeah, that's the scanning of the cards. What are you looking for when you're scanning a card?
Well, there's several things that are looked for. The scan actually bounces against many databases. I don't want to give really too much of them.
Oh no, I wouldn't.
But,
don't want to give away the secrets.
That's right. But yeah, it's several different databases, federal, state, of those natures, and so several things pop up. Criminal histories, if wants, warrants, things of that nature.
Yeah, I would think warrants and expired licenses. I guess that would trigger something.
That's correct.
The one that gets me is they always ask me, they scan the back of the card and then they ask me to see the picture. It's like, don't you have one on your little mobile device? It looks just like me.
Yeah, that's a great thought. But the problem is that may not be you though. So they have to verify that, hey, that picture is actually the person. I can hand anybody a driver's license, So
if a picture shows up and it looks like me, then it should be me.
You should be good to go.
It should be me. Yeah. I know you.
Yeah, and sometimes, it may not be. So they have to make sure they follow through with that second check, and it's very important to do that because, let's just face it, you're a good guy, so you're going to try to come on and you'll be okay. But you got some folks that are bad guys or gals or whatever, and hey, they may not have their ducks in a row with that.
Yeah, I don't want them on here.
No, that's what we're there for, to make sure they don't get on.
Well, I haven't had any problems on post, so I guess you guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, you're still... yeah. I'm checking to you a little bit further.
Yeah, I haven't been in trouble, so apparently you're not doing... No.
Right, exactly.
So what kind of things are we doing for Appreciation Week?
Well, again, we're doing things of this nature as such. There's going to be some eGuardian stuff hanging out there. I mean, different things. I will tell you what's nice is when we are recognized by the public, because let's just face it, that's what we're there for. So we want to get this out. So that's what we're doing, to make sure that people understand why we're there, what we're doing for those folks. So there's some events like that coming up.
Awesome. That's awesome. I would say, just as if you're driving through the gate, just thank them. Hey, thanks. Happy Appreciation Week.
You'd be surprised how far that would go. That those guys, they hear that.
I'll bring them a pizza. There you go. Here's a pizza.
I don't know about that. I'm sure they'll take it. They'll appreciate it.
No, I'm just no. Like I said, they've always been nice to them. I appreciate going through there all the time and them doing their job. Just even when it's inconvenient to me, it's like they're doing their job. I'm doing my job. I don't want people coming in and trying to mess with me while I'm trying to do my job.
Yeah, and it's tough sometimes out there because you got to deal with the weather.
Karens.
Yeah. You got to deal with the weather. The noise. And it's hot, it's cold, it's windy. Not trying to complain.
The exhaust.
Yeah, there's a lot going on out there, and they're on their feet.
The heat.
They do get breaks, but they are on their feet, and so it can be, a long day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it really can. I've been out there. I know.
And there's even worse things that you could be doing. So that's when I was younger, I was a security officer, and I was actually planning on, or I at one time tried becoming police officer. So I worked a security guard at the mall, and then at another mall I was a security officer, which there's a difference between a security guard and a security officer, because the security officer has a lot more training, a lot more responsibility, and does a lot more things, and does them more accurately.
Right.
And as a security officer, my boss was actually a sheriff's deputy.
Okay.
So he taught me how to write proper reports, and he would go through and grade them and say, nope, go back and correct these. And so I learned a lot, and a lot of people that worked at that mall went on to become deputies and police officers, and not so much me. I made it to the oral interview
board.
Yeah, and they gave me a situation that I failed miserably at. It's like by the time I was done, there was a string of dead bodies.
Yeah, that's kind of one
kids were gone.
It's one of the most important things of that process. You kind of definitely have to pass it.
Oh yeah, so that's why I joined the Air Force. It's like, okay, now I don't have to shoot anybody.
That's right. Well, that's interesting you say that, though, because things do happen out there. There's scenarios, and they have to react to it, and so those folks are definitely trained. There's a lot of training. We do an annual training 2 weeks of the year. We do that with our counterparts with the Department of the Army Civilian Police, and so we train concurrently. A lot of the items, mostly all the items are the same. They're like the exact same training, and then we do what I call fall qual, but it's our required semi-annual fall qualifications and certifications, which we do in the September, October, November timeframe.
So in the fall.
Yeah.
So you guys go out to that? There's a high speed or driving range over. It's I forgot the name of the course, but it's basically for the police to do all of the high speed, high maneuver.
It's called the Emergency Vehicle Operations course.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, we do one. We have our own. We do in house.
Nice.
We recertify every year on that during the annual training, and then any new folks that come in have to go through the initial training. So yeah, we do that. We do that all the time.
Yeah, it's where I want to take my stepson to teach him how to drive.
Right, or how not to drive.
I just don't want anything around him. It's like, okay, just drive in a straight line right here.
Yeah, that's okay if you hit 45 cones. That's okay. It's better than everything else. Yeah, we have a lot of cones.
A lot of cones.
Lots of cones.
So now, this isn't an exclusive club. You're looking for people to come join.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So what's it take to become a security officer?
Well, the first thing is obviously a resume, and you have to know where to upload that resume, and that can be done at usajobs.gov. And I'll say that again, usajobs.gov.
That's where almost all of the jobs for work for the military.
Correct. Yep, and that we're in there. But you have to be a U.S. citizen. You must be able to have and maintain a valid driver's license, state driver's license. You have to get a security clearance. You have to be able to pass a physical and a PT test or a physical agility test. We actually do a PT test.
Okay, well, I'm out then.
Yeah. Well, I thought when I got out of the Army, I wouldn't have to do that anymore. But yeah, 12 years later, I'm still taking PT tests.
There you are.
Matter of fact, I got one coming up. Weapons qualification, you got to be able to qualify on your weapon. There's several things, the OC spray, baton certification, CPR. I mean, I can go for 2 hours on all the stuff that.
So basically, anybody that was a lifeguard during the summer, they should not have a problem coming on over and applying.
Yeah, now especially if they can do CPR, we're good. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that won't be a problem. It seems like a lot, and it sounds like a lot, but it's a process. We walk the candidates through, and they. We set them up for success, so
awesome.
They'll make it.
That's awesome. So is this on the GS scale?
It is
the general schedule, I guess.
Right.
General schedule.
That's right. Yes.
Most civilians on post are GS. There are some worker scale, which is WS, or no,
WT.
worker grade.
Yeah.
Worker grade.
Yeah.
and then there's contractors.
Correct.
Those
we are GS.
Nice. And that's a good one to be in, especially once you're into the GS system. Then you've got plenty of opportunity to move around and get promoted. And,
Absolutely.
and all that. And the pay is really not that bad.
It's not bad. Our entry level is a GS, what we call a GS 6. And that range runs at the low end of about 40,000 and some change, up to 52,000 and some change.
That's not a bad start for around here.
It really isn't. Not to think about the benefits that come with that. Also, there's several different benefits that come from that. I mean, you have annual leave, you have sick leave, health, life insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, long-term health care. I mean, it just keeps going and going.
Not to mention you have access to the installations, so the MWR events and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So the concerts and the festivals
and the shop ed.
And the shop ed, yeah.
That's great.
That's some great stuff.
Yeah.
And do you guys take veteran preference and all that?
Well, what we do, there's a program. The government has a program where if you are a veteran, we're going to consider the veterans first, but I don't want anybody not to apply because they're not a veteran, because we can also, we can hire non-veterans also. So
there's plenty of room for everybody.
There really is, and we want, anybody that really wants to be part of this, we want to have them come on board. You get time for time served. I can't give you the exact how much time, because that's a formula and somebody else does that.
Yeah, they figured out. I had to buy I bought my active duty time back.
Right.
For here, so they figured out. Okay, well, if you did this many days, then you earned this much money, and this much would have gone into your retirement. So you pay that back, and we'll give you those years.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it was well worth it for me.
It really is, and there's another aspect to that. A lot of people just don't know this, but if you have military time, and let's say, you did 7 years, it doesn't really matter how many years, but you deployed and stuff like that. The HR department, the CPAC, the Civilian Personnel Office and all that, what they're going to do is they're going to look at that on your 214, because if you're a veteran, you have to have a 214. That's your discharge paperwork. Anyway, look, it's going to have that time on there, and you could get credit for that. And it's a basic computation date. So, like, I'll use mine as an example. I retired in 2008, so I did 20 years and about 7 deployments. And what they did was my comp date went back all the way to January of 2006. What that means is when it comes time to accrue leave hours, so like mainly when you come in, you get 4 hours. 4 hours of leave annual, and sick leave.
And that's every 2 weeks.
That's every 2 weeks. It's every pay period. Correct. And so with me, I started off with 6 because of that time I had. So I automatically got 12 hours a month, if you will, in time off. That's a pretty good deal.
Not bad.
You add that up times 12, you got some days off there.
Yeah, I started here in 2005.
Yeah.
And my comp date is 97.
So that's insane.
Yeah. So I started off with earning 8 hours every pay period.
That's great. Yeah, because normally you got to work up to about 15 years to get that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, but you think about it, that's just a lot of, it's really a lot of time off. And that we have a schedule that we currently are working where it's you get a lot of time off actually, because we're working currently 12-hour shifts, but we're working with what we like to call a Pitman schedule. So basically, if you look at a pay period, 14 days, you're going to get about 7 days you're going to be actually working.
Oh.
So think about
Is it like 1 day on, 1 day off, or like 2 days on,
it's like
1 day off?
2 on, 2 off, 3 on, 2 off, 3 on, something like that.
Nice.
And if you aggregate that into a month, I mean, you're looking at 14 days, half a month. And if you look at it in a year's time frame, you're really on the ground about six months out of the year.
Oh, wow.
Lots of time off.
That's a lot of time.
Every other Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off.
And around here, having the weekdays off is so helpful, because I can't get to any place on the weekend because they're all closed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So but if you got time, you got to cut your grass, you got errands you got to run.
Yep.
Like for myself, I have to do that on the weekends, like you said, and it's like, but now you can have time off during the week. So it's a pretty good schedule. It's
nice. And the crowds, if you got to go someplace or you want to go someplace, there's the crowds aren't that bad.
Yeah. Like I said, take the boat out, go fishing on a Monday. There's no one on a Monday. You go on a Saturday or Sunday.
All them fish are for you.
You can walk across each deck of the boat, So the schedule is great.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 12 hours. That's straight time. for.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So you go 12 on, 12 on, 12 on, off. And okay,
Right.
so it rotates. So you'll have
Every other
Monday,
Friday.
Tuesday, and then
That's correct.
Okay, great.
Yep, that's absolutely correct. And we also have the possibility of relocation and recruitment bonuses that might be available also.
Relocate to Northport.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. ACP 7. Yeah, but those are available, and all this information will actually be in the job announcement on USA Jobs. So if anybody wants some more information, they can certainly get it there.
Nice. There's I'm old school, or I'm just old, and we have the Facebook out there, and I actually monitor or Facebook stalk a bunch of different places, and one of them is the Vents page, and I see, or even just in regular conversation and stuff, I see a lot of people asking about why are these gates closed, and why is this one closed? I have to drive all the way around on the weekends and all that stuff. And I try to explain to them, it's like, well, when you've got one car coming through every 6 hours,
Right.
that doesn't justify $40,000 a year to man it.
Exactly.
So you have to, if you want to see why, go out there and sit there for 8 hours and see how many cars come through.
Well, I assure you that we are definitely maximizing, the open hours and so forth as much as we possibly can. So it's not from a lack of, we want to do that or not do that. It's what we have to do.
Yeah, I understand that. I see the gates also with the self swipe things. That didn't work out too well, did it?
No, I will say some people were having some issues with it, but we don't do the Trusted Traveler program here. Everybody's 100% scanned and ID'd, and so therefore it requires that guard to scan every ID individually.
That's too bad. We could probably speed up. I'm thinking like maybe one lane over on the side, someplace where you can only have one person in the vehicle, so you can scan you scan it. You have somebody monitoring it, make sure that people are going through.
I mean, there's several things that can be done, but at the cost of security, and there's certain things we just going to have to do, and that's what keeps this community safe, is the things like that we do out there. So
absolutely,
the fact that you and I can sit here and have this conversation and not once really feel about not being safe and can carry on with what we got to do, it's because of those folks out there that's on that.
Absolutely,
gate, so.
Absolutely, and those scanner guns. Sometimes they're fast, sometimes they're not so fast.
Right.
How many different I remember Mobile Lisa.
Correct.
Now, are you still on mobile? No, okay, so you've gone through several different models and you keep upgrading.
It's state of the art what we have right now.
Nice.
And again, it does sometimes bog down, but you got to.
But so does the internet.
That's right. You know how systems are.
Yeah.
So, but basically, it does do a pretty quick scan. But it's state of the art. If you're a bad person, you're gonna get caught.
You're gonna get. I mean, yeah. My former boss actually got stopped at the gate and said, "Your license is expired."
And you're like, really?
What? Oh, man!
You'd be surprised what that scanner will tell people.
The ones that I don't like is when they say your tags are expired.
Right.
It's like your inspection sticker's out. It's like, oh man.
Yeah. Well, we're offering a service. We're going to let you know. Sometimes people just maybe not know. But
thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, we're going to help you out with that. That's customer service right there.
So, so you mentioned USA Jobs. If I was to go on there, there are filters on there to filter it down to which installation or which area, state.
Correct.
And what kind of is there a series number?
Yes. So the two things you need to pay attention to basically is going to be, it's going to ask for a series number, like you said, 0085. That's the series number. And then the only other thing you need to be concerned with at that point is servicing CPAC. Those two you need to, and then you hit that button, that down arrow, and it'll take you look for Fort Polk, Louisiana.
Nice.
And if you got 0085 and that in there, it'll pop right up.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah. Now, if for USA Jobs, that if you put the word security, like security guard, in the keyword search, and there's a lot of things you can put. You put 25 miles from here. There's just so many filters. Just concentrate on 0085, or just put security guard Fort Polk, and it'll pull up that information. And it may pull up everything else at Fort Polk, but you'll be able to go through those 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 lists and find a security guard one.
Absolutely.
And just click on it and then follow the prompts.
Nice. And if you want to, well, there are little hints on how to fill out a resume, and I believe we have some offices on post that might even be able to help out certain people, at least, you know, those that are eligible for the help, and
Right.
we can surely help make sure that your resume is filled out properly.
Correct. I think ACS may be one of them. There's a great person over, Stacy. She's real good at all that stuff, and I think she does the career transition. And so the thing for soldiers that might be listening or are fixing to get out, it's a great and a perfect opportunity if they want to continue federal service.
Absolutely.
Just, go through those processes, and if not, then you can reach out to us. You can call us direct. You can call me direct, and if you're in that boat, I'll help navigate it for you.
Right on.
So
Right on.
we'll do it.
So so you're gonna have the commanders come down and
Sure.
bring cake and stuff to your.
They can bring cake. I can't eat it, unfortunately, but they can bring. They can definitely bring it. But no, I have soldiers. We have soldiers sometimes will pop in, especially those within the battalion, and hey, I'm getting out in a couple months, and so here, look, here's what you need to do. We'd love to have them, but I don't want to discourage anybody that's not, military or getting out or a veteran. We like the folks also, that weren't in the military.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now, how many have you seen anybody that's come in and been with your team for a little while and then moved on to become like civilian police officers?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So this can be a stepping stone also
It absolutely
to help
could.
out, and
You'll get you'll definitely get the training and the knowledge and experience for sure.
you'll have a foot up on that. Plus, you get to continue your federal service,
Correct.
and the time that you've spent inside or active duty can carry over to your
Right.
to this. So, I mean, why give up a 20-year?
Absolutely, yeah.
Retirement.
But the goal is definitely to retain you as a security guard.
Absolutely, yeah.
We want to keep good folks on the ground and on the team.
Yeah, but just the good ones.
Well, they're all good.
I know.
Let's
I'm
say that.
kidding.
Let's
I'm
just say
kidding.
that. They're definitely all good. But yeah, that's the ultimate goal is, I would never discourage anybody from moving on and moving to different things, because life changes. Things happen. But I will tell you that our goal is to keep the folks here and take really good care of them.
Absolutely. I've seen you guys out there in action, and you really do take care of your guys and gals, all your peoples.
Yep, so it's important. It's one of the most important things, taking care of your folks, because that's what they're doing. They're taking care of everybody else, and they're protecting the protectors. And somebody's got to have their back, and that's what we do.
No, I'm here for you too.
I know you are. I appreciate it. You're doing your part right now.
So, whatever you said for Appreciation Week, back to Appreciation Week. There's 5 days there. As we drive through the gates, I'm going to personally thank everybody.
Great. Yeah.
It's like, hey man, thanks.
Yeah.
Happy Appreciation Week. Happy birthday.
They would appreciate if folks would do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just let
them
them
know they're valued, and they are very valued.
Because it's a thin blue line.
Very thin. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, we though a thank you, to be honest with you, for those guys out there on the gates really would go a long way. A simple thank you.
I like it. I like talking to them. There's several of them out there that if I see them working the gate, I just smile when I come up. It's like Mr. Green, Mr. Mangini.
Yeah.
Those are just two right off the top of my head.
Great guards.
And I notice when somebody that I'm used to is no longer there. And it's like, oh man, what happened to this guy?
Where'd they go? Maybe they're on another gate.
Yeah.
Probably come through the same gate every time for the most part.
I did. I went through an odd gate that I normally don't go through, and there was one of the guys. It's like, oh, that's where you've been hiding.
Yeah, we do rotate them on the gates. We don't want to have them become stagnant or whatever on one gate. So because things, to be honest with you, the traffic volume and everything's a little bit different on different gates. So we move them around.
Oh, absolutely. Then you've got specific gates to go through. I mean, there's gates that are open all the time, which is Alligator Lake and the front gate.
That is correct.
And then we've got other gates that are permanently closed, like the back gate.
The LA-10 gate.
Yeah.
And then when it goes out on Mill Creek is permanently closed.
And then there's a gate on Fort Polk, goes out to the range.
Oh, you're talking about the ACP 8 or the box gate.
Yeah, the box gate. It's like, wait a minute, there's a gate within a gate.
There is a gate within a gate, but from the outside you can get in.
Oh, okay.
So that's why there's that actual gates there.
Gotcha. Now I've seen the barriers. Those barriers are pretty.
They work.
Yeah, they're pretty intimidating. I mean,
Yeah, that they're there for a deterrent too, and they do work. Both
oh
ways.
yeah,
Absolutely.
When I was down in Biloxi, I saw one went up.
Yeah.
Because somebody didn't stop completely at the gate, and they had them out of the car in a couple seconds because they couldn't go anywhere. Those gates or those barriers are like they'd take out a Mack truck.
They're definitely something you do not want to run into, but there's plenty of measures that's in place prior to that to let you know, hey, you need to stop.
I've always been worried that I'm going to be going through and somebody behind me is going to run the gate, and the gate they're going to go up in the middle of my truck. It's like no,
but there's actually safe measures for that exact situation.
Or if I was riding a motorcycle.
Yeah, well, you could get some air on it, I guess. I'm not gonna say that hasn't happened before, but but they're definitely a great tool, like I said, for deterrence and actual to stop folks if we need to do that, and they will deploy them.
That is cool. If you were to tell somebody about your organization, the Department of Emergency Services Security Officer Division.
So you have the fire department, the police department, and like your MPs and stuff like that, they kind of all are in that division, even though the battalion is kind of a dual-hatted type thing, okay? Mm-hmm. And then you have this physical security division, and in that physical security division, you have the access control, and then you have the inspection program. So those folks do a whole bunch of stuff. They're responsible for the perimeter of the installation. They do arms room inspections, MEVAs, mission essential vulnerable areas, all that kind of stuff. But one thing I guess if I understand what you're asking is what would I want people to know about that division? I will say that there is a group of dedicated people. They are about the mission, and they understand that their mission is to keep everybody here safe, and that's something they take very serious and they work extremely hard at. A lot of people don't see all the ins and outs, you know what I mean? They just see the face value of something, i.e. you come through the gate, there's a guard, but they don't see, how all that ties in into behind the scenes things that's going on. There's a lot that's involved in that, especially for like Freedom Fest and stuff like that. There's a lot of logistical stuff that's going on and training, and, it's just a day-to-day thing, and it's constant. So I would want them to know that it's much more than just you can hear the sign.
Sounds like somebody's somebody going to work.
Yeah, right. And in that, and I will throw the security officers in there, the police officers and the MPs. They're in the same boat, so they're here for you. I promise.
Oh, absolutely. They've. I'm very familiar with them.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Good or bad or both?
Both. Mostly, even on the bad side, they're still. It's like they've always been polite, professional,
and
remain
professional.
Yeah, and I've never had a bad experience with them, which is even when I was in the wrong.
Right.
It's like, well, okay.
We're just trying to help you out.
You're doing your job. Right. So what else is should we know? I mean, career progression. You said you would like to have somebody sign up, join up, and then stick around. What can they expect to if they were to stick around for 20, 30 years?
So as a security guard specifically, we have I'll do it two different ways: GS 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. So what happens is we've put so like your 6s are corporals, your 7s are sergeants, your 8s are lieutenants, and then the 9 is a captain. So there's that ladder right there. That's just within our our section, if you will, just in access control. So you have the opportunity to, go from let's just say from a 6 all the way up to a 10. So it's good.
That's good.
Yeah, it's real good. It's definitely a retention thing. I mean, some places, you may be nowhere to go. I turn around and I can't go nowhere. Here you can.
Now I'm noticing. What's the minimum age to become a security officer?
Well, it's 18. I think you have to be a legal adult, so 18 would be the answer for that.
Because this might be something for recent graduates and stuff.
Absolutely. It'd
be a good start to a career.
Very good start to a career, and it's a good start to stay in that career. And you could do 20 years, and there's retirement benefits. There's retirement plan. There's a retirement plan called the Thrift Savings Plan, which is very good. So. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you could come in on day 1 and walk out on day 20 plus year or whatever,
That's nice.
Yeah, it's available.
And you don't have to worry about getting deployed.
You do not. I know some jobs in the GS you do, but no. Only, I mean, you may get deployed out to a scene or something, or to a gate for
Alligator Lake.
Yeah, well, that's rough, But yeah, so yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Well, they might need some security up at Toledo Bend, so
I mean, yeah. if we get the call, we're dedicated.
Dedicated. Got to go out there. Bring the boat.
Yeah. You may have to do a boat patrol.
It's like there's some people out on the lake. Go get them.
Yeah, we can do that.
So so we've got that. We've got the Appreciation Week, mainly for the commanders, and you said the GC is going to go out and say hi and thank.
Yeah, the garrison leadership, and that could be even the deputy garrison commander, Mr. Anderson, and all those folks.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them out there saying hi to people.
It would mean a whole bunch, and I know they appreciate us, and this is a great way to show it.
Oh yeah, they're really busy.
I know.
Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. They're busy.
That actually reminds me of a story of I think it was the garrison commander. It might have even been the general. I'm not really sure. It was one of them. It was either full board colonel or the general.
Right.
And they came through, and they're used to the guards recognizing them.
Yeah.
And then just waving through and all that stuff. So he comes up and he's, hey, and just kept driving. And oh my God, they had an APB out for him. They got the description and they tracked him down. Right. They pulled him over. He wasn't even mad. He's all, great job. Great job. You guys did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Maybe he was doing a test. I don't know.
You never know, but it's like, he told me that. It's like, that is too funny.
Yeah. Every single person has got to be vetted, and then if you don't go through that process, then guess what?
So what if you don't have ID to come on the post? Like you don't have the CAC, and if you're coming on to do something or visit or even come apply or come talk to you or something, how would you go about getting into the gate properly?
So adjacent to the main entrance gate is the Visitors Control Center. And when I say, we talk about all this stuff, these guys and gals are included in this whole thing because they're security assistants, so they're all part of the team. They're the folks that, they vet the personnel. So you can go down there and see one of them, and you will have the opportunity to be vetted properly and be given a pass. There's different passes, 1 week passes, 1 month passes, years, whatever. But we also have a feature down there which is called, it's a kiosk. So you can actually skip the line if no one's in the kiosk line and just go follow the prompts. And if you pass, it vets you and everything, gives you a pass, and you're good to go.
That's nice.
Very, very convenient.
That's so cool. So what else? Do we have anything else? Did we? I think I covered everything, right?
I think you did. I just want to make one thing I'd like to caveat on is again, the security systems down at the Visitors Control Center.
Nice.
Those folks down there work very hard, making sure, keeping the people that are applying for the passes, keeping the people that shouldn't come in, keeping them out.
I've actually seen people that went in there like delivery. Nope, sorry, can't come on.
That's right.
You've got a felony warrant.
Yeah. So they're definitely part of the team. So and we appreciate them.
And I see a lot of people waiting in line just to go see them.
Yeah,
they must be popular.
They're very popular. Yeah, extremely popular because they have something people want.
Absolutely. All right, Chief. I appreciate you coming in, and we're going to say say farewell to this, another popular podcast episode. You've been wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. I'm Jeff England, and we are out of here.